A message from a guy in our London group. He says, does your pride ever stop you from closing girls who might only be a 5 out of 10? You think, I have had and can get hotter ones, but this less attractive one still looks nice. Jesus, wasn't really, and turns me on, but I could do better. So I won't, and then I regret it afterwards and end up without any solid numbers. Okay, I have a lot to say on this topic. And there are going to be some nuances to my advice, but my general advice for most guys watching this, in case you don't know, is that if you meet a nice girl in the club and she likes you, you're attracted to her, it's going to be a more fun night to pull her home and have sex with her than to not. Like, what else are you going to do? Like, dance with your homies, you know? And from a game point of view as well, like, you are going to learn so much more from trying to pull this woman home than from staying in the club and doing more sets, okay? Just because a woman wants to go home with you, there are still so many ways that you can mess that up as a single guy, right? You're going to have to deal with her friends. You're going to have to deal with the logistics. You're going to have to learn how to, like, keep her spirits high during like the boring journey home back to your place where she's feeling nervous in the cab with some guy she's just met, right? Also, when she's back at your place, you're going to have to learn again how to keep the vibe good, you know, make her feel comfortable, make her turned on enough to sleep with the guy she's just met, okay? These are all skills you're going to have to learn if you want to become a master seducer, okay? And this might sound obvious to a lot of guys watching, like, why are you making a video on this? But I have dealt with so many guys who have like approached a woman in the club. Clearly he's attracted to her. She likes him, she wants to go home with him potentially, and then he just ditches, he bails and says, oh, she wasn't hot enough. A night game coaching I did recently in Bangkok, and the guy was from Malaysia. He hadn't had sex in a long time. He's got his money together, he's got his physique together, and he made a decision. Okay, I need to get this life of this part of my life handled. So he got in touch with me. We met in Bangkok, and it was we had to work through a lot, okay? Overcoming approach anxiety, approaching groups, how to escalate, okay? All of these things, and we got a long way in one night. He did really, really well, okay? We got his vibe, got him in state, got him approaching like absolute babes and, getting numbers, things like that. And then towards the very end of the night, we were outside the club, about to do the debrief, and this cute little Thai woman who he approached earlier walks past us and calls out his name and like waves, okay? And she's on her own at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I said, man, go and reopen her right now. He runs after her, stops her, they're talking a bit further away that I can't hear. And it looks, and at this point as a coach, you're so proud, like, okay, my student's gonna pull, like thinking about the testimonial, it's gonna be so good. And also like, okay, I don't have to do the debrief now, I can just get a pad thai and go home and sleep, okay? And I bought some food. I'm writing like the notes for his debrief that I'm gonna text to him on WhatsApp. And then he comes running back after me. He ditches her to run after me. I'm like, what happened, bro? What happened? I don't know, she wasn't hot enough, okay? And in that debrief, and we eventually got to the real reason why he ditched her. He's like, oh, okay, I didn't really know what to do. I was nervous, my logistics. I just froze and I just bailed, okay? And yeah, a lot of guys, they come up with the she's not hot enough excuse when actually they have a lot of fear. Like, so many guys are afraid, like they could actually meet a woman who wants to have sex with them and then they mess that up, either like during the pull or perhaps even worse, like in the bedroom, right? They might have like performance anxiety or something like that. So then they just self-sabotage and they tell their homies that she wasn't hot enough, right? It's an ego thing. So if you were someone who is constantly like bailing on women because she's not hot enough, like as a coach, I would dive deeper to see if that is something you're dealing with, okay? And actually, our guy in our London group, he confirmed that before I dive deeper. He says, I guess what's stopping me is I don't want to get rejected by less than a 7 out of 10 in looks, as that would hurt my pride or ego. Okay, this is something I talked about in a past video. I'll link it now. Ego stops so many guys from succeeding in dating, right? It stops so many guys from taking action in the first place. They're so afraid of rejection that they don't try at all, or they do try it, but then they don't escalate because they're afraid of rejection, right? And this is just another reason just not to be like rating women out of 10, right? This just fuels the ego. Like, oh, it's just in your head, I'm a 7 and she's a 5, so if she rejects me, that would feel bad. Ugh. Like, it's way better just, are you attracted to this woman? Are you not? It's binary. Final caveat, if this guy had been, he's been out there in the streets and he's been sleeping with mid women for a lot of time, right? And he tells me as a coach he's not satisfied with sleeping with all these mids, and he really wants to focus on finding higher quality women to date, like, maybe then as a coach I would advise him. And okay, it's early in the night as well, and there's a bunch of like there's a supermodel party over there. Maybe as a coach then I would advise him, okay, maybe you want to go and speak to these women. Perhaps there's something stopping you from talking to these women, and you're more in your comfort zone with this plain Jane over here. Maybe in that situation as a coach I would have different advice, but that is so rare, man. Like, the majority of guys like who are in the game, they're not at that level. Okay, so stack up some W's, right? Learn to pull, like, become very competent at that, and it's really going to help you for when you know meet that dream girl who you would want to be really excited to be intimate with. Okay, you're going to get so used to pulling, like, your nerves aren't going to stop you, because it's like muscle memory. Okay, you're you're a competent puller and you know how to do this without messing up, right? Okay, it's a skill. It's part of the skill. It's part of the skill, and I mentioned that at the start of the video. So that's really it, really. Do check out our free school group. It's the best way to get like a detailed answer from one of the Game Global coaches. My hands are cold. Merry Christmas, and to that guy in the message, you messed up.